On January 21st, 2017, the day after the inauguration of President Trump, more than 1 million people across the country joined together in a peaceful protest known as the Women's March. The protest took place in the most prominent cities of the United States, such as Los Angeles, with a crowd of about 50,000 protesters, New York with 200,000 protesters, Chicago with about 250,000 protesters, and even St. Paul, which was estimated to have a crowd of about 50,000 to 60,000 protesters. The largest crowd took place in Washington, D.C., with the crowd estimation to be a minimum of 500,000 protesters, who were all fighting the inequality within today's modern America. The idea of a peaceful protest advocating for the rights of women and minority groups originated from Teresa Shook, a retired attorney. The night after the election, Shook created a Facebook page that suggested a protest the day after the inauguration. When she went to bed that evening, 40 people RSVP'd to attend the event, and by the time she woke up the next morning, more than 10,000 people agreed to take part. From there, more and more people organized the protest in other cities across the United States. The Women's March turned out to be one of the largest one-day protests in the history of our nation, with crowd estimations matching those of other protests like the Million Women March of 1997 and the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963, where Dr. Martin Luther King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. Among the crowds, celebrities such as Alicia Keys, Madonna, and Janelle Monáe used their status and platform to address their concerns. Janelle Monáe spoke out about police brutality among the black community and remembered Sandra Bland, the African American woman who died in police custody in 2015. Gloria Steinem, a key figure in the early feminist movements of the 20th century, was also among the crowd, encouraging the protesters to use their voice and to never back down. Despite the massive crowd turnout, Trump made no comment on the protest, which isn't surprising. President Trump is known for his misogynistic views of women and also his sexist remarks about women. One popular example is Trump's famous nasty woman remark made about his Democratic competitor Hillary Clinton during a debate between the two presidential nominees. As Clinton was sharing her ideas about Social Security funding, Trump interrupted her by muttering the phrase, "such a nasty woman." This phrase would soon become a driving force used to speak loud and clearly to the new president during the protest that the women of the United States would not be silenced. I chose this image because the feminist movements throughout history have always interested me. I'm also fascinated by how powerful protest of any kind can be and how people can really genuinely make a change by taking a stand for what they believe in. The main goal of the Women's March of 2017 was to stand up for equality for all groups, especially women, the LGBT community, people of color, immigrants, and those with disabilities. The fear that our nation would go back in time instead of progress hit the nation all at once, sparking a need to be heard. The first full day of Trump's presidency was filled with protesters standing together all across the nation, refusing to be silenced. January 21st, 2017 was a day that the American people fought against oppression, stating boldly with pride, there needs to be a change.